Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Relief Report. I am your digestive dietitian, Stephanie Clairmont, and I'm so glad that you're joining me today in this particular episode. Now, as you might have seen in the title, the question is, do I really need to keep a food and symptom journal? In all my years in working with people, helping them improve their digestive health issues, this is the one thing that people don't really like to do. It takes a little extra time. It takes a few extra minutes every day. It's kind of a pain to actually keep your food and symptom journal. So in today's episode, I'm going to break that down for you. I'm going to tell you if you need to keep one, or if you don't need to keep one, pros and cons of them. Okay, so we're going to get into it a little bit. I apologize because I am a bit congested today. I have a 2-year-old that sneezes and coughs all over me. So I might be sick for the next 6 months. So please be patient with my sniffling a little bit. If you want to give me some thumbs up and let me know you can hear me, I see a few thumbs up. And if you're watching the replay, thanks for tuning in. I know 10 a.m. on Wednesday doesn't always work for everyone. So let's talk about if you actually need a food and symptom journal. Well, I want to pull out some research. That's like how we like to do it here on the Relief Report. We just saw some research come out a month ago that there's a new company called Cara, and it's a Berlin-based startup that's developed an app to track, if you guys have heard of Cara, it's an app to track our symptoms if you have IBS or IBD. Actually, a few of our Clarity program participants have been telling me about this app and that they actually really like it. So what's interesting, though, there are a few different tracking apps out there. What's interesting about the Cara app is that it allows you to record your meals by taking a picture of your meal or typing it in the database, and then track changes in your mood, your bowel movements, abdominal pain, and then give you insights in patterns and trends. That sounds really helpful. But the cool thing about Cara is that it's raised $2 million already in funding to add a microbiome component. And sometimes we talk about the microbiome, which is all the bacteria that lives in the gut that we need in there to help us with digestion. And in the future, what they'd like to do is feature this, microbiome aspect, harness the power of your symptom tracking, and then alongside give you recommendations on a tailored probiotic formula personalized to you. Crazy! This is the future of the microbiome, of probiotics, of understanding, that gut microflora. We're all so different. We all have different food tolerances and intolerances. We all have different triggers, and we all experience symptoms differently. So having that tailored approach to you is really important. You need to clearly identify what your triggers are. You need to know, the right plan for you. So what's really interesting about this app and all this funding that they've got is that they understand the individualized need regarding the microbiome and regarding the probiotics. So we're going to see that come in the future, which is very exciting. But what can we see with the Cara app now, or what can we understand about it? As I just read, it says that in that particular article, when you use the app or when you keep your own food and symptom journal yourself, you actually can start to track patterns, But let me tell you the 5 keys that you need to write down in your food and symptom journal. So this is what I've been teaching for years. This is what we teach in the Clarity program. When you get a food and symptom journal that you follow with us, the first thing is, of course, what you eat and when you eat. So what you eat, the amount that you eat, and when you eat is really important. The second thing you're going to write down is your symptoms, of course. You're going to write down gas, bloating, discomfort, pain, and you're going to rate that between 0 and 10. So give it a number so you can track it over time and track that pattern. Number 3 is going to actually be your bowels. So, where are you on what I like to use is the Bristol stool chart. So we're not using describing words for our poop, which isn't really helpful to track over time, but we're using a number from something that I use called the Bristol stool chart. Now, I see a lot of you are just jumping in and joining me. I'm going over the 5 key things that you need to keep on your food and symptom journal in order to really track patterns. And when people use these things, they actually, in our program, in the Clarity program, within the first week of keeping their food and symptom journal, they start to identify patterns and they start to get clear on their triggers. So this, keeping your food and symptom journal and identifying patterns, works very quickly. And I do apologize, I'm a little bit sick, so I'm sniffly. So that first thing was the food, the amount, how much, and when. The second thing was your symptoms. The third thing, which I just mentioned, was your bowels and using a Bristol stool chart to kind of give them a number. The fourth thing is actually a plan for self-care. So actually that's the fifth thing. Let's go to the fourth thing first. This is a really important one. Potential triggers. So identifying what your triggers are and knowing what all of those triggers are for you and your body, and actually starting to, first of all, just be aware of all the different triggers. So, these are things we normally think, like wheat and lactose and garlic and onions, but there's so many more than that. So starting to write down potential triggers as you go through your day is a huge one to help you identify those patterns. And the fourth one is self-care. So a big, big part of clarity, and a big part that's going to get you to that place of symptom-free where you feel fantastic, is taking care of yourself, making time for yourself, adding in some quiet time, some meditation, even deep breathing can really, really help us better manage symptoms. So those are all the things that you want to actually write down on your food and symptom journal in order to do it well. If you don't write down those food and symptoms the way, all those 5 things that I described like we do in the Clarity program, kind of keeping a food and symptom journal isn't worth it, because you need those things in order to track those patterns. And if you want any more help with that, you can check out Clarity, our program. It's joinclarity.com. You can go to joinclarity.com, and Elizabeth can share with us the link right now. The other thing is, if you want help identifying your triggers, we are working on a new tool for you to do that, a list of triggers for you. If you want that tool, just hang out with us. Next week, we're going to release it, and we'll share the link for that. We don't have it available just yet, but I'll give you a list of all the triggers so that you can get really clear on what your triggers are. You can see the whole list of it, and I'll give you even a copy of my food and symptom journal that I use in the Clarity program so you can start to track. All right, so that'll come out next week. So make sure you hop back over here next Wednesday at 10 a.m. Eastern with another episode of the Relief Report, and I will actually share with you that new tool that we want to share with you. All right, so thanks so much for hanging out with me today, guys, with all of my sniffles. I can see a lot of you hopped in and joined us. If you have any questions, if you're here with me live, or if you're watching the replay, or, if a question hits you up later on, please post it right here in the comments. I'd be happy to chat with you and help you understand how to keep a food and symptom journal, how it's going to help you out. And of course, if you need any help, you can join us in the Clarity program. Well, I am here to answer your questions and support you, and I'd love to have you become our newest client and help you through the system that gets you really clear what's causing your issues and what's not, so you can get back to feeling more like yourself. All right, my friends, I hope you have a lovely Wednesday, and I will talk to you soon. Bye for now.